Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast. This is the True Israel of God Live podcast. And the title of the True Israel of God podcast is What is the Business of the Church? Ministry or Money? Now, this is a new series I'm starting because I am a church man, yet I am also a businessman. So let me explain to you, because you may ask, what do you mean by what you just said? So I started dealing with ministry in 96. And in 96, I wanted to be a rapper. So I went to ASCAP and I created a publishing company called Israel Doctrine with an ASCAP. And then after I started the publishing company, I started a record company or entertainment company called Israel Doctrine Entertainment, LLC, because I'm a businessman. So I started ministry and I also started my business ambitions and stuff to get out here and do business. That's a MC or entertainer. And so the two worlds collided. I started doing social media before anyone ever really knew what social media was and how it was a business. And I was out here doing it. I had started podcasting on Blog Talk Radio and starting my ministry and things of that nature. So in starting my ministry, I started realizing how much a ministry is truly a business. It's not my business or our business. It's the Lord God of Israel business. And he done spoke about this business throughout the whole Bible. His business and his job was to create man, create an environment for man, circumstances, situations for man, all this stuff he created for man. He created animals for man. He created flowers, trees. He created everything for man. And if man wasn't going to be here, as he showed in the flood, he was going to destroy it all because man wasn't taking care of the Lord's business. So let me explain how I see church. Church is the people. The church building is the place where the church resides. It's where they fellowship with each other, meet with each other and stuff. So that's how I see church. So when I speak, I'm speaking from that perspective. The people in the church that's dwelling in the building that is theirs, that's why it's called church building, go about taking care of the Lord's business in this building, tabernacle, temple, whatever you want to call it. There's many names for this stuff because many people has played with the Lord business, the Lord church. Remember, he gave it to man, and when man don't want to do right, he destroy what the Lord God of Israel has set up to be done. Now, the first people as an institution or a body politic was the Hebrews that became Israelites. Down in Egypt, they was known as Hebrews. That's what Pharaoh called them because it was the slave name or the foreigner name that they gave to their slaves, Hebrews. But the Lord freed the Hebrews as well as Egyptians, took them in the wilderness, baptized them, and they became Israel at that time. After the baptism, they all was Israel. They was no longer Hebrews. They was no longer Egyptians. They was known as the nation of Israel or God body because they became gods at that point. Then he separated Levi to take care of his temple, which the temple is the main headquarters of the body and the body politics and stuff. That's why the church building is what it is today. Because the priest of God in the nation of Israel is known as the priest of God. Dwelt in the temple of God, taking care of the temple of God. It was plenty of work back then for the Levites. They sung, they sacrificed, they fed people. Though they didn't have a inheritance amongst Israel, they still had a lot amongst Israel. Now, one of the biggest problems with this is that the Levites got tithes. Most people don't know what tithes is. It started with Abraham, though, the grandfather of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, just like the Hebrew people's name was changed to Israel. The Egyptians' name was changed to Israel due to the fact that that's God's name. So when you say you're the Israel of God, go look it up linguistically and writing this stuff. When you say the U.S. of America, what do it mean? Of America, what do it mean? Of God, what do it mean? I ain't the smartest person on earth. I will get that and make sure you're not ignorant of it, but that's what it is, people. We're of God, meaning that we have a position in this world unlike anyone else. They of God too, but they don't want to be of God. They want to be of Satan and of the world. And they do the things of Satan and of the world. And we should not do those things. We of God, we should do the things of God. Now, like I said, this is a series that I'm bringing. It smacked me last night when I was laying down thinking of my business. I said, I'm on YouTube. You know, YouTube is a big part of God's business now. You know why? Because it's the digital world. You got to take God's business into the new millennium, the business world. It's on YouTube. And I've been on YouTube doing God business for a long time. Truly, back in the days, people would send me money. People that I knew, they would get my address, send me money and all that. I could have been fleeced any flock if I wanted to. I'm smart enough to do it. I never did it because I'm taking care of God's business. But yes, I was eating off of the crops that I was planting and doing all that stuff because the Lord God of Israel allowed his workers to eat. Did he let the Levites eat? He gave them the tithe. Though he didn't even give them a position in the nation. They don't even have a land to call their own and stuff. So I'm just putting it out there for the YouTube world to know that's been watching me take care of the Lord's business for a long time. Some of it got into my business because I'm a man and I took some things personal. And when I took those things personal, that it became my business. I messed up my channel because a channel should be, I don't even know how to say it. It should be studied. Certain things you do, every title you do, every tag word you put in there, every description you put in there, YouTube studied. And my business started out church business, then it turned into my business. Now I'm turning it back into the Lord's business. It's like I said, I was laid down last night and it smacked me. This is not your business, Carl. Don't mess up the Lord business because I can't be a hypocrite. I done seen plenty of people turn against me and turn against the Lord and the Lord business, fellowship and everything. And it's like, Carl, do you know you're doing the same thing? When you take your personal business and put it over the Lord business, do you see what you're doing? Do y'all see what I did? Are y'all going to watch what I'm going to do? I would like some answers to these questions. Put them down at the bottom of the video. Let's get a dialogue and a back and forth when y'all come over here and watch this series. What is the business of the church? Ministry or money? Can you minister to people without money properly? Because if you got a big church, a big group of people, where they going to be at? You may need a stadium to talk to them. But all of that didn't change because, once again, YouTube is the digital platform for the church to use. He say his word gonna go all over the world. Where you think it started? In your house, on your YouTube. Speaking to Africans, speaking to Russians, speaking to the island people, speaking to Americans, speaking to Canada, speaking to Mexicans, anybody you want to speak to. If you do proper business on YouTube, you can reach them. And the Lord ministry must go out throughout the whole world. Why do you think YouTube was made? From my perspective, this is how I see it. You might not see it like that because you don't think like me. That's the difference between me and a lot of people. My bringing up and my this and that has taught me things that you haven't been taught. And you've been taught some things that I haven't been taught. I talk to siblings and they like, a crazy person think better than you, Carl. Because the way I think is crazier than a crazy person sometimes. Because that's how I look at the world. But yet when I tell my siblings this, I don't know why people think I'm just like, he's a liar. He don't tell the truth. Everything about me is the truth. I've never had to lie. Let me explain it to you. I grew up with two parents, a mother and a father. My father raised me more than my mother. But my mother, she whooped me 3 times in life. She whooped me with a broom, she whooped me with a mop, and she whooped me with a double Dutch rope. And I said, I never want one of them again. And all she had to do was look at me. And it was scaring the heebie-jeebies out of me. But if I was doing something too wrong, she had an Avon pink and brown brush. And she had a hand like a pitcher. You could be sitting up, and next thing you know, that brush come flying through the air. Pop! Where that come from? You ain't know mama was sitting over there, though. She was doing her hair. She was watching and listening to everything you were saying and doing. And she let that brush go, and it come meet you. Pow! Hit you upside the head. You get right. I had a loving mother, but my mother was a lot like me. What you hear and see from me, I get it from my mama. That son, he get it from his mama. Because she is the biggest influence in my life. I had male figures that I looked up to and they influenced me, but my mama was the biggest influence in my life. So I'm out here to talk church business. My name is Elder Carl Albert Davis. I'd rather be Elder Carl Albert, but Carl Albert Davis is my government name, the name my mother gave me. I would never disrespect it and change it for the government or no one. I'm going to go to my grave with this name. Just like I came into the world with this name. So people, I appreciate y'all for watching and listening. We're going to get into this series even more tomorrow. Hopefully, my reader will be back. But if he don't be back, y'all know the way I do it. We're going to have the computer read, and I'm a commentary. I'm going to give my commentary on what it reads. So with that said, look forward to this series. We're going to teach the world about tithes and offerings, because in Arkansas, people figure the people at the church are robbing them. Would I say that? I would say no, they taking care of the Lord's business, but the people don't know how the Lord's business work. So they like, oh, he robbing us. But I've seen plenty of Facebook posts of ignorant people in parking, and I want to educate them in the world about how the church system works, so they won't feel robbed, and they'll know who to give the money to, because it's the Lord's money. You got to give it to his ministers. Now, if that man is not a minister of God, what is ministry? Let's talk about it right quick, because ministry is a big part of the church. If you're hungry, somebody give you some food, that's some ministry. You sick, somebody visit you in the hospital. Park in Arkansas don't have a hospital. So either you're going to go to Memphis or Little Rock. Now, Elder Carl Albert got to come pray over you or whatever, however the Bible said, right? How's Elder Carl Albert going to come get to you? I got to have a car to go to Memphis and Little Rock. This is church business. All this is church business. The minister needs certain things so he can do what he has to do. The church needs certain things so it can take care of the people, a food pantry or whatever. So if people need food, clothes, this and that, the things that they used to do in the 60s and stuff with the Black Panthers and stuff, breakfast programs and stuff. The church is supposed to do this. They the ministry. They minister unto your needs, but no one talks about this. No one goes to their elders and make them do this, because they don't know how the church business runs. But preachers go to seminars and stuff, and the Europeans teach them this is how our church system works, because the church system is their church system. Ministers should go to God, see how his church is set up and how his church works, and administrate his ministry like that. So we're going to talk about it, people. I don't want to stay long. I just want to introduce you to the series. I'm going to say peace and love, and hopefully welcome you back the next time we do this. We do this daily. So instead of my morning podcast where I'm talking about stuff, I'm not going to do it. Probably once a week, because I got to keep it going too. So once a week, I do that podcast. And every other day, I'm going to do this podcast. And we're going to talk about the ministry, the church, the duties of the church and things. Because we got to be about our Father business. See, I was teaching months back about faith without works is dead, and they didn't understand it because they had the Europeans telling them what faith was and what work was. They didn't understand it. Like I said, if I tell you about the Levites had to slaughter animals. They had to sing. They did a lot of stuff. They had faith and they had works because they did work. Back in the days, it wasn't none but work. That's why you could tell what a virtuous woman was back in the days easy, because how she took care of business, because she was a businesswoman, taking care of business, taking care of family, doing things of this nature. It was easy to spot these things because faith without works was dead back then, now too. Just people don't understand work. They don't understand when you do a podcast and you got to come up with the topics and do all this stuff, and that it's work. It's work. So y'all will see the work, y'all will see the ministry. The ministry name is the True Israel of God on the streets. The government name is the Israel of God, the mixed multitude, the church, because that's the church. The Israel of God, who were the Hebrews that became Israelites, the Egyptians and other melanated people in the beginning of the Bible, when none but melanated people, they are the church. So welcome to Church Talk. We'll finish this up in another series. Peace. I'm out.